Rose Hill Downtown Development Authority meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Brett, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, that was cool.
The next item on our agenda is roll call. Ron is here. Jim?
Here.
Eric?
Here.
Kelly is excused. Marie?
Here.
Brad?
Here.
Brett?
Here.
April?
Here.
And Jerry?
Here.
Next item is are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? And I'd like to add a item under public comment that's going to be marked as closed session. So with that, is there any other additions or deletions? And if not, I'll entertain.
Chair, if I may.
Yep.
We would like to add as an action item for funding for Island Fest. They've asked a donation from the DDA, and we'd like to vote on that today. It's included in the packets, so when that action item comes up, we'll be able to review that.
Okay, so we're going to add item number
3.
3, which is funding for Island Fest. Is there any other additions or deletions? And if not, with those two changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Motion by Jim,
Support.
support by Marie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the March 23rd, 2023 meeting minutes.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
I support.
Motion by Jim, supported by Brad, to approve the minutes as submitted. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our financial report. We want to review our financials for March of 2023. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review those. And Ross, I have a question. Under the expenditures, there was a conference that was attended by a Brittany Gruber in Frankenmuth, and there's a bill for $152.
Yes, that was.
It's the last item on the list.
I apologize. That I will get with the finance department on that. That was for community development.
Okay, that's not ours.
I'll get
Okay.
that fixed tomorrow.
I wasn't sure.
Thanks for
which is why
catching
I asked
that.
the
Yeah,
question.
I saw that too. You're right.
And then just to ask a question, the $2,000 for professional services, that's our outside consultants for artwork. Yes?
Yes, that's for public art consultants Michelle Tanguay and Allie McAugee.
Okay. And I missed last month's meeting, so the benches and receptacles are here, because I see we paid for them.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions on the financial report?
I'll move to accept.
Motion by Marie,
I'll support.
or by, is that Eric?
Yeah.
Supported by Eric to approve the financial report for March 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our first action item is the approval of the bid award for DDA Art Structures, Public Benches and Trash Receptacle Foundation Project to GV Cement in the amount of $25,359.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Jim,
Support.
support by Marie. Under discussion. Anyone have any comments or questions? We all have information that was included in our agenda packet that has indicated that they were the low bid, quite a bit lower, which is good news. As long as they can do the work for what they bid, I think it's good news for us.
Yeah, and Chairman, if I may, we budgeted $80,000 for this project for the next coming budget season, and so this frees up a lot of, about, do the math, $55,000 or so. So that's pretty nice.
And we can talk later what we might be able to spend that on.
Right. Yeah.
Ross, did Was there any discussion with Compo? I'm always interested when there's such a disparity between bids.
Yeah, I think that Compo was just really busy this season, and they said
Didn't want to pass on it. Yeah,
But didn't
okay,
want-
so
yeah,
yeah,
so I think
that
that's
is-
what that was.
That is done all the time.
And that is going on in the construction industry right now. Everybody is so busy that, and I'm not saying this is what happened in this instance, but a lot of contractors are giving a high price and saying, if you're willing to pay me that, I'll do the work, but I really don't need it, so.
If I may add, GV Cement he's a Groseal resident, so
That's good. That's good to hear.
And I will say, GV has been used by the township in other departments, and they do a good job.
Any other comments or questions? If not, we have a motion by Jim, supported by Marie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Action item number 2 is a motion to recommend the approval of a redevelopment liquor license under MCL 435.1521A1A for Glendo's located at 8756 Macomb Street to the Township Board of Trustees.
Well, I'll make the motion, since it'll be coming to us.
Motion by Jim,
I'll support.
supported by April. Under discussion, I got a call today from the resident that lives across the street. And he indicated to me today that he has a bedroom that's located 90 feet from their tent that's on the south side of their building. And when they play music, he hears that in his house with closed windows. He indicated to me he wasn't against the liquor license. He just indicated that when they play music, he can hear it with his windows closed. And he said, in the summer when his windows are open, it's going to be even worse. So I indicated that I would pass that along to the board today, and that just for information.
Yeah, that's something that this board wouldn't take care of, but I'll pass it on to the right people.
And I had indicated that to him, that, we weren't the governing body of that, and but I did tell him that I would pass that on tonight. Is there any other comments or questions?
Ross, if you can just explain this liquor license, because this isn't your normal, just a business getting a liquor license. So if you could just explain that for the people.
Yeah, so briefly, Groseal is capped right now at our liquor license that we can administer to businesses, but the DDA is allowed to hand out liquor licenses under this act. So basically, there's a long process that goes through. I've been working with Galindo's. They've been great to work with. So basically, they had to mail out to 2,000 restaurant and people who have liquor licenses in Wayne County to ask if they could use their liquor license. A month went by, so they submit all the paperwork, basically stating that their hours, the amount of money that they invested, the amount of money that the DDA has invested into the area, and then if the board approves this, we basically send off that resolution to the state, and then the state will administer the liquor license. And what's unique about this is it's actually cheaper than your typical liquor license, and they can't take this liquor license out of the DEA and go somewhere else with it. It's basically, they can only use it at this location. And unfortunately, we won't be ready for Cinco de Mayo, so we won't be able to have our tacos and margaritas, but eventually, if this goes well, if everything gets passed, they should have their liquor license soon. So.
Is it Galindo's license or is it our license?
It's Galindo's.
Okay.
It's 'cause
So
they
so if Galindo were to leave, we wouldn't have a license to pass on to another location.
Right.
Okay.
So if another business came into their location and wanted to get the same liquor license,
Start
they would
all over.
Yep, all over.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So they can't sell that liquor license to the next owner?
nope.
No.
Okay.
I was not aware that the DDA did that. So, and I was, as you know, I called you to ask why this was on our agenda, so
Right.
I'm glad to get that clarification. And how many of those can we approve, Ross?
I'm not sure if there's a cap necessarily. Reading over this, it doesn't seem like there's a cap. It's really up to the state of Michigan whether, they'll look at our business district and determine, if we have 100, which, they would be, okay, they're not approving anymore. But it's ultimately left up to the state. But we can always submit, and, for any new potential business that wants to have a restaurant selling, Class C liquor licenses, they can.
And if this went to the township board and they did not approve it, it stops there?
Stops there, yep.
So it's a three-step process, the DDA, the township board, and the state of Michigan?
Yep. A lot of municipalities handle it differently. This is our first time going through it. So eventually I'd like to have an exact process of how we do it so that, every time, this process that we did this time, kind of just on the fly, we did all the proper steps. Different municipalities kind of do things differently, but the review process of things at least. So.
It's totally outside the normal number of liquor licenses that a community has. We're going through this right now. The township is to get their own license for Water's Edge, or for the restaurant down there. Well, actually, it won't be the restaurant. We have a different address, but we'll have a license that we can lease to someone coming in to run the restaurant, so they don't have to go get a license. But it's outside of the normal licenses for a community.
I have a question. So you say we're at our limit. Are there any, I don't know how to phrase this. So does Vitale's building, probably not, because
Right.
it's not on, okay. But are there any unused licenses on the island right now?
Vitaly still have a license.
Now, like Vitale's, they had a license. Now, they may still hold the license. It's theirs to sell.
Does that affect Groseal?
Yeah, if it's a license, it's out there, and if they're holding it, we don't get another space.
Because they live on the island?
No,
Like, how does that-
because they own that building, and that building has a license.
They don't own that building, do they?
Well,
I'm
regardless,
sorry, Vitale's owns the license for, and that was the
address.
location for that address.
and they
Okay.
pay those
So,
annual fees
whether
or
they're on the
whatever.
island or not,
Okay.
and now they can go and sell that to somebody else.
But regardless, I think that Vitale's is void. I might be wrong on that, but I know that Ume and we have quite a few. I think we're capped at 8, I believe.
It's 7 or 8.
Yeah, and with API, Airport Inn, and the different.
So there are,
Yacht
I guess my
clubs.
question is, are there any that aren't being used?
No, yeah, we're
Yeah,
capped.
not that-
That's why we sought
Yeah.
out this liquor
Okay,
license.
just curious. Thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion by Jim, supported by April. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Action item 3 is funding request from Island Fest. And Ross, you want to give us a little more information on that?
Yep. So the folks that are running Island Fest are apparently every year the DDA has given some funds to support Island Fest. It's a great community event, and they're asking this year $2,050. It looks like we're supporting a lot of the musical acts.
For the parade, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's for the parade. Okay. So yeah, the parade on Macomb Street, correct? Yep. So just wanted to add this in so that they could, if the board approves, so that they could get the funding in time. So
And it's $2,050, did you say?
$2,050. Yep.
I'll move to support.
But
Okay, we got a motion by Marie.
This
made
in
the
line to
motion.
prior years, similar amounts?
Yeah, I couldn't.
But first, we should have the motion, then the approval, then the discussion.
Okay.
So.
Well,
did
we have a motion by Marie. We don't have any
Okay,
support yet.
support then. I'll support.
Support by Jim, then. Under
Okay,
discussion.
Under discussion, yeah. If you would go into, I would be interested, what have we done in the past? Because I'm not familiar with this. I mean, do we pick, I mean, they're kind of picking the amount for us. Is that how it works?
I
Yeah,
try to.
I mean,
have-
typically,
I have history here,
Organizations.
and then this is what we've done in the past.
So-
Just, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I mean, do we normally, these are the four that we support? And so as the amount varies, as it might go up year to year or whatever, okay.
and we have the,
Works.
we have the right to approve any different number if
Right,
we want.
right,
Just because they're
right.
requesting that doesn't mean we
Right.
need to approve that amount, but we typically have in the past. And I would like to make sure that the motion indicates that the money is spent on Macomb, because we cannot spend our money, here at the airport. That this money needs to be for activities that happen within the DDA district.
Yeah.
Is there any other comments or questions?
Just to clarify, and Marie, you would know this better than Ross, this amount is about what we do every year?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
all
it's,
right.
it's the little people that drive around in the cars.
Yeah, the stilt walkers,
Yeah.
the Korans.
There's no other questions. We've got a motion by Marie, supported by Jim, to approve the expenditures of $2,050 for Island Fest activities that happen within the DDA district. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Moving on to our discussion items. Our first item is the DDA Art on the Isle Island Nights. And our consultant, Michelle, is here for
Hello,
a presentation.
beautiful people of the DDA. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me and what I've been working on. So we have Art on the Isle plans on participating in Island Nights by setting up 3 tents in front of each mural. The artist will paint throughout the event and mingle and meet members of the community. The first tent will be dedicated to the artist to showcase their artwork and also information and outreach about art on the Isle. The second tent will be dedicated to a children's art project to get the kids involved. And the third tent will feature a Macomb business and maker or craftsman. Our first Island Nights is June 15th. The featured artist is Camilo Pardo. The location is the hardware store, and the kids' craft is these little cute painted wooden cars. The kids are going to be painting them. I just did the craft with my kids, and they loved it. And also, I will be making a coloring page of the mural so that kids can take the coloring page, draw on it. Our potential featured business, I was thinking about reaching out to Island Music. Their location is right in front of the mural, and they give music classes to kids. And also, the Groziel Alliance of the Arts expressed interest in being involved, so I think that this is a really good opportunity to have them involved. The potential makers, one-time run will have a selection of Camilo's prints available for sale. Fate and Coincidence is a jewelry and vintage items, and also Corby is a Detroit ceramics studio. People have also expressed interest in a small car show, so we're going to try to make that happen. Here's a little bit about the kids' craft, Camilo's artwork, and then those are the 2 crafty businesses. This is the promo. We are going to be printing out a few postcards. I did the graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer, but if I do it, it's at no additional cost to you guys. So I did all of it.
Good.
Thank you. So our second Island Nights is July 20th. The featured artist is Jesse Castle. He will be doing the map. The location is Lloyd's. The kids' craft is going to be a coloring page of the map and these cute painted pottery that I just did that with my kid to test it out, and they loved it. The potential business, I was thinking of Pet and Garden, Marie, because you are right there, and I thought maybe we can work together and do something cute, a little setup. And also the Historical Society, because they did help us with all of the map locations, and they expressed interest in getting involved. Our potential makers are Kelly Katz, she's a ceramic artist, and Ella Callis, they make handmade jewelry. So there's all of that. You guys can take a second to look. And then, once again, here are the postcards. Our next Island Nights is August 17th. The featured artist is Bo Stanton. The location is Zupke Plumbing. The kids' craft, we have these little wooden boats. And also, Allie, who cannot be here today, is going to be doing a fused glass boats project presented by Wyandotte Art and Glass, and we will have a coloring page for the mural. The potential business is Zubke, and we were thinking about reaching out to a few real estate agents or maybe healthcare. We haven't really ironed that out yet, but we're working on it. The maker is Wyandotte Art and Glass, and they will be providing a selection of glass pieces made by local glass artists. And here's all of that. Once again, the postcards. So next, let's talk about mural sketches. So Camilo has begun the sketch process after talking with a few people, and I will have sketches for review by the next meeting. So he was instructed by me to give us 2 sketches, one of his green Mustang with a green background to complement all of the beautiful greenery that Groseal has to offer, and the second, a bright, colorful race car. It gives us a little bit of contrast for you guys to vote on which one you would prefer on the building. And I think that gives us 2 good options. Next, this is a big one. So me and Ross, we met with the Historical Society about the locations to put on the map that Jesse Castle will be painting. Remember, this map is going to be used to showcase everything that Groseal offers its residents. So we have all of the yacht clubs, the golf and country clubs, the green space, the churches, the schools, fire, police department, town hall, the post office. For recreation, we have the Lighthouse, Lions Park, Groseal Airport, the Alpaca Farm, Airport Inn, Groseal Historical Museum, Centennial Farms, Westcraft Gardens. We have the bridges. We have featured a few businesses along Macomb, the ones that are involved and either have murals or members of the DDA. So I don't know, there was talks of possibly having no locations on Macomb, but I think it's good to have a few. And then I can also tell Jesse, to do whatever he feels like it, whatever inspires him. And then we have all of the islands of Groseal. Next, we have Bo Stanton's nautical sketch. Bo will begin the sketch process over the next few months. After discussions with members of the community and learning a little bit more about the history of the island, I've decided to ask Bo for 2 sketches. The first sketch will include a freighter. Everyone I've talked to asked for a freighter. So I figured I'll have him do one of those. And then the residents just love the freighters for some reason, I'm discovering. The second sketch, I will go the history route and will feature the Griffin. It's the ship the first French explorers were on when they named Groseal. This will give you guys 2 good options to choose from, in my opinion. Next, we have some promo. Once again, by me, so be gentle. But I have 2 campaigns that we're going to be releasing. These will be posted on Facebook and also Instagram. And this one is the new murals coming to Macomb. They feature the artist's name and their artwork. And then next dives in a little bit deeper and gives a whole bio of the artist, why it's a big deal that we are getting these artists. So this is Camilo's, this is Jesse's, and this is Bo's. And that is it for me. So does anybody have any questions?
A couple of
Yeah.
comments. Can you send this to us? So
Yes.
we all the board members have this so we can
Sure,
read
Ross can.
all these in detail.
Yep.
And then as far as the map goes, the locations on Macomb, I think we should show the businesses that have murals, but I think we should also show the businesses that have our sculptures. too.
Yes,
We
definitely.
should add that to
That's
that.
yeah. I will add
'Cause
that to that.
obviously those people are participating in
Yeah. I
art
just
on
don't
the
have that
aisle,
list,
so-
but I'll get it from
Okay.
Allie and I'll add it.
Any other comments? Nice job, Michelle.
Awesome.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
Nothing else?
Chairman, if I will, I'll be sure to put this on our website too, so any residents that want to look through this, they can also check that out. I would post it on Facebook and Instagram, but it's 20 pages long, so that'd be kind of, no, that's fine. But I'll be sure to also get this out to the communities for them to review.
Okay. Thanks again, Michelle. I move on to our discussion item number 2, which is the EV charging stations at the DDA parking lot.
Yeah, Ross and I, we've been contacted by people that want to know if the township itself wants to have some type of charging station, because they're, I mean, the people out there who want these battery cars don't have an infrastructure to charge them. So they're trying to put together in all kinds of different ways. A lot of the car manufacturers are building their own. They have there's reaching out to communities to do it and other places. So Ross and I have been looking into it, and in thinking about it, we thought the best place the most room we have is down at the airport, but probably the best place for it would be on Macomb. And it has, at our parking lot there, it also has the ability, if somebody's plugged in, to actually go to some of the businesses while they're waiting for their car to charge. So I think what we really wanted is, since that is our number one site to put something, it'd be I think we're only talking about 2 chargers. These do take up room, and you're going to have cars sitting there for a long period of time, because that's just the way it is right now. So, we don't want to take up half the lot with them, and we can add on. So we thought we'd start with, we're looking pretty much at 2 chargers, so it wouldn't take up a lot of the parking lot.
I'm sorry, Ron.
Yeah, and there's a lot we have to do yet, but we wanted to see if it was okay with DDA as to that as the location. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do to see if it can be done there as far as the hookup and everything. And it is quite expensive, but from what I've been getting across my desk, it seems like there's a lot of grants, a lot of federal money out there, so we could get a lot of it paid for. That wouldn't come out of our pocket. And all we're asking from DDA is the location. No money from DDA on this. That'd be up to us to get through community development or township. We just want to know if it's okay if we use that location.
Fred, you have a comment?
That was my question around federal or state grants available for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of EV money, and as you get into it, you go, wow, this will pay for it by itself, and then you find out, we're going to be too small. We're not the right type. Things of that nature. So there is a lot of money out there, but you got to go through the weeds to find out if it's really going to work for our project. And there is money out there that will work for our project. But yeah, all we're asking of the DDA is can we use the location?
Might get a little visibility to that parking lot, so.
Well, yeah, it could actually be a draw.
I'm in favor of it. I'd like to find out, more information as you gather that information. If, I don't know, is it something that we can make money on, or do people have to pay for it, or?
Well, it would.
I have no idea how
it
that-
would be like any, like most. Well, I shouldn't say most, because there are places you can go, dealers that'll let you plug in for free. Our thought it'd be a pay for your charge, but it'd be a place you could go to charge up.
I have no knowledge of this, so I believe there's one in front of Dunkin' Donuts on West. Do you pay there to charge your car?
So they're all kind of different. So I know that GM is partnering with I believe they're called Flow.
Flow.
Yep, and they had actually reached out to me
Yep.
a few months ago, and we would have to pay to do a feasibility study to see how much it would cost to link up the power there. And I think with them it was going to be like about $6,000 or so. But what you would do is you'd have a Flow card, so you'd have to purchase a separate card with the company, and then they would swipe and pay right there, and then the DDA or the township would recoup those costs. So anything that they pay to charge up their card, would then go into like the general fund of the township, or however it works.
Whoever's going to run it would
Yeah.
have to get the money to pay for,
Yeah.
offset the bill for the charge.
So depending on who the company is that sets it up, I know that DTE also has grants out there. I'm not sure if they make you if you can just use your own credit card or if you have to buy a separate card.
Yeah, and from what I've been able to gather, it's all over the place as to how it is. So like with Flo, who has approached us, it'd be Flo's card, so the people would have to get a Flo card. There are, other charging places that you can just use a regular credit card. So that's all part of what we have just started to get into it. But we thought it won't be as simple as, well, it doesn't matter. You got a 2 charging station, you can put it anywhere. It's not that simple. We need to know where we're putting it, and it has to be built around that. So that's why we're coming to you guys now, and we'll certainly keep you posted as to where we are in all this as we go through it.
Some of those stations too are like a 15-minute charge, and some are like a half hour long.
Well, there's pretty much there's no car that'll charge in 15 minutes, and there are different levels of chargers.
Okay.
I think there's 3 levels right now, and they're working on a 4th level. And as they go up in level, it charges faster, but you also have your vehicle also has to be able to accept that faster charge. So there's all types of things that go into it. Pretty much a level 1 and a level 2. Level 1 is pretty much what you would have at your house. Level 2 is the norm out there right now for car charging. Level 3 right now is pretty much just for truck fleets. But this is a constantly evolving thing, and that's obviously one of the huge hurdles that EVs got to do is charge faster. Who has 45 minutes, to plug in and then sit around, or what do they do for 45 minutes where their car is charging? So that's one of the hurdles they face, but that's where they're going with it. So
It may be worth, when we find more details, even partnering with some of the businesses and helping them, or whether through the administrative portion or financially, to put it in. I mean, if our parking lot's on the east side of Macomb, whether it's Kroger or where, it gets more traffic, maybe more appealing on that side too.
Well, and that's why DDA is the only place we have to put it that's ours. We do want to, being that it's brand new and no one knows what's going on, you don't want it to start going on private property and not knowing really the lay of the land. If we make a mistake on our property, that's one thing. We make a mistake on somebody else's, it's a whole different ball game. So, and it's not to say that we can't start out with like 2 chargers there and it works out well. Now we go down to Kroger's and put one at the other end. And Kroger's could go out and put their own in. So
right, just help them navigate. Wherever this grants are coming from.
It's just a new area, and it seems that's the way. There's certainly going to be cars to charge out there, whether they take over like some people would like them to, or whether they don't, doesn't matter. They're going to be there. So we thought, it's worth looking into.
Any other comments? Is anyone object to using the parking lot?
And we figured, 2 spaces? Approximately 2 to 3 car.
I'd say start with 2, and if it's successful,
we
maybe
can
add
always,
to it. But
yeah.
Okay, I guess you have no objection to moving forward, and whenever you have more information, bring it back to us, and
We will do that.
move on to our next item, discussion item, which is the GI sculpture lighting. And Ross and I talked about this a little bit during the week. Last year we put in the sculpture kind of at the end of the year, and I think we need to look into lighting that up. I was going to say this under my report, but the school is ready to paint the sculpture, and as you know, at our last meeting, we approved purchasing the paint. Ross is going to try to get that on Monday, so we'll notify the school that, it's ready for them to plan whenever they want to do that. And whenever that day is, I will make sure everybody knows about it. If you want to be there when the school starts, or you want to participate, because they're always looking for people
Is
to
that
help.
just the colors they're painting, the gray and the
They're,
red?
they're going to paint the back and front of the GNI, the red color, and then the sides gray,
Gray.
dark gray,
Okay.
and then their handprints are going to be in a light gray.
But they're not doing the handprints right now, are they?
I would assume they're going to paint
Just the paint.
first and then
Okay.
go back another day and do the handprints. Yeah, so we'll.
Yes, you can get your handprint. I know where he was going around the long way, but
So I actually did talk to the installers that did the G&I on Monday or Tuesday this week, and they do lighting. And because they do this professionally, I think they're the ones that can give us the best advice as to how that should be lit. And so they were going to look into it and give me some kind of ideas what that was going to cost. So whenever I get that, I'll bring that back to the.
yeah, I absolutely think that, simply because some of our sculptures are rather dark and in the evening, unless, now I know every time I drive down Macomb, I look for every one of them. But, other people who are just driving down are going to drive right by them, especially at night. So, I'm all for lighting them up.
With the GI sculpture, because we're a long way away from, doing anything with Lions Park, can we consider in the future, or, think about maybe dressing it up a little bit around it, with some minor landscaping,
Yes.
just to pretty it up?
But don't be so sure, we're a long way away.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got some information we're going to share tonight, so.
I missed
But yeah,
last
you're
month.
right. We do need to do something around the G&I, because right now it's just a piece of concrete with the two letters sitting there, and we need to dress it up, so. If there's no other information on that, we'll move on to our discussion item number 4, which is the summer banners. Ross?
Yeah, so Wendy, who is organizing the senior banners, was asking to put them up in the month that they're going to graduate, which is May 26th, I believe. I think they graduate on May 26th, so having those banners go up then would be awesome. And then we were going to leave it up for the month of June. So I know that in the past we left the senior banners up for the entire summer, I believe. Is that correct?
At one time we did, yeah,
Okay.
and we,
I don't think we did last year, though.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I just want to double check with the
Yeah.
board. Do we just want to have them up for the month of June and then get summer banners for July?
Yeah. I mean, that's,
I think commencements are June 1st.
Commencement's June 1st. Okay, so
so through June
through
would
June,
be fine.
and then
Yeah.
July have I'll work with our designer to get summer banners, and these banners we're going to try to have it more artsy, lively looking. Get that summer.
Azaleas?
What's up?
Azaleas?
Yeah, we'll get some azalea. We'll get something. Yeah.
Something other than flowers.
Right. Okay, so I'll get working on that with the designer tomorrow. Okay, just wanted to double check with the board on that. So, thanks.
Anything else on banners? Hearing none, we'll move on to the DDA Director's Report, and that's the merchant meeting recap. Ross?
Yeah, so just kind of going to briefly go over this. You all have a packet with you just to summarize kind of what happened at the merchant meeting. It was a pretty successful kickoff. About 24 people attended, most of which were business owners on Macomb Street, which was nice to see. It was basically just our first initial meet and greet after however many years, right? We just want to have more of these events going forward, of having the DDA, or at least myself and the business owners, all getting together and kind of just collaborating on how we can improve our business district and some of the things that they would like to see. Our master plan was in 2020, so it's all pretty fresh ideas, but it's 3 years later. It's always good to keep on getting the input from the community. So just an overview, and I shared all this information online too. So we shared resources, we met with businesses, and we only received 12 surveys, but regardless, input matters. So it's always good to kind of hear what we were told from those who attended. So we asked how can we better improve your business. They'd like to see advertising opportunities, more in-person information, and connecting businesses and community members with each other. The obstacles that face their business are visibility and traffic, inflation, which that's affecting everyone, of course, keeping businesses on the island and attracting customers. And we asked if DDA events has helped their business, and it's kind of split all the way across. 22% yes, they've seen reoccurring shoppers. 22 said yes, but they don't see increased shoppers after our events. 22% said no, and 33% said that they have not been here long enough to stay. And I believe we had 3 individuals who were new to Macomb Street within the past year, so that was great to see them come out. And we asked what kind of events they would like to see. They said daytime events, farmers markets, which we'd like to have. Hopefully we work towards that in the next couple years. Beautification initiatives, small business networking events, and weekend events. And they'd like to participate in events by opening up their business during events, hosting a booth, attending meetings. And 66% said that they'd like to that they're interested in a business sponsorship program. So I'm going to be working with Emily on how to coordinate that to get businesses to invest. I know that the real estate agents on the island really want to find ways to invest in events and kind of be a part of some of the things we got going on. So Emily and I will be working on that and how to coordinate that. And lastly, what was really great to see is that 100% said that they would like to meet more regularly, and all of them said that they would like to meet on a quarterly basis. So moving forward, I know that we are going to be kicking off our business attraction and retention program, and I think that the next time we have a merchants meeting, kind of having it's going to be informal, but it would be a good opportunity to talk about, if some businesses are having issues, staying on the island, if they're, what ways can we help them? Where can we meet their needs? And also, how can we, if there are people on the island who are interested in setting up shop, how can we reach out to them? Because we know that in order to grow the business on the island, it takes islanders, right? It's everyone who's here. Talking with a lot of other DDA directors, they mentioned, they tried to attract those big box retailers. They tried to do all these things, and we know that that's not what we want here. We want to have community members be a part of our business district. So once we go through that program, once we start off our program, our business attraction retention, hopefully we can have those conversations with the businesses. So, and that was it.
As a follow-up to the merchant meeting, I mean, like, we had a little subcommittee that got together and, helped plan this with you. You did 99% of the work. But is there a point where we kind of, get together and continue our subcommittee meetings?
Yeah, so I think with our initial subcommittee that we had, I think most of everyone there was kind of interested in doing a business that program, or just starting a subcommittee. So I guess moving forward, we can kind of figure out and kind of hash that out. So. I
mean, because I was at the registration table, I didn't fill out, I was one of the 24, but I wasn't one of the 12 or whatever that filled out. But, many things that are mentioned in the responses are things that are definitely of interest to me, so.
And Ross, I think if the plan is to do this quarterly, I think it would be a good idea if your subcommittee gets together and sets the date for the next one and have a save the date sent to, everybody so they can get it on their calendar, soon. So that way, they'll know that when it is, and it won't hit, they'll plan to be around or, put it on their calendar, so.
Will do.
Rotary mentioned that please don't do it on a Thursday, because there were more people from Rotary that would like to attend, but they're not going to miss a Rotary meeting. They're just not gonna.
Any other comments on the merchants meeting? If not, we'll move on to the next item, the chairman's report, and I'll let Ross speak to this, but, or give you a little more information, but as you know, we had some discussions at one of our previous meetings that the Wayne County had a fair amount of money that they were awarding in grants to different cities, mainly in the first rounds to do park improvements. I think they're kind of starting to slide in a different direction, but Ross was able to contact the person at the county that runs that program and was able to submit a proposal for us to try to get money to do Lions Park, at least some of the things there. And Ross got some information, so if you want to share that with everybody, Ross.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but so I think it was 2 weeks ago when they made a press release of all the communities that got the Wayne County funds. They had a little pot left over, and basically Wayne County called me and said, there's potential, could you lower your asking, because I think that we asked for 750,000, around that number. So we're just kind of lowering that amount. They're at the steering committee. I think it's tonight, so potentially news soon. But either way, we think that we had a pretty good proposal. We're feeling good, but don't want to overhype it too much. Just kind of calm down. But it's very exciting news. So
It's still a good chunk of money.
Yeah,
What did we go down to?
425.
Yeah, which is still a good amount of money.
In that number is roughly what it would cost to put the water wall in that we've talked about. So, and that's the biggest, I mean, and it's the major construction that's going to happen there. Everything else, once that gets in, can happen piecemeal or, phased in. So, as Ross said, the subcommittee was meeting today. They make the recommendation. It actually goes to the entire Wayne County Commission for approval at one of their next meetings. So, and I'm pretty sure that if the subcommittee recommends it, it gets approved by the board. So keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully Ross will get a call in the morning with some good news. So we might know that by as early as tomorrow. So
You'll let us know right away, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right.
When would we expect funding to be available then, if approved?
I'm not entirely sure. It seems I'm not sure even if the communities who are awarded the grant initially have gotten funds.
It normally isn't like we approved you, here's your check.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
uh,
There's gonna be a lot of coordination.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a lot of work.
That you're
so.
ready to, you're doing something before they give you money. So,
But that being said,
that being
they
said,
need to spend that money.
They
so.
need to spend the money,
So-
and certainly that'd be the impetus for us to get going, and because we have funds, so it'll all work out. But they won't just hand us a check.
Right, our ability to start spending it and lining
Right.
up contractors and stuff.
Right.
Is,
What really helped us is the fact that we did a lot of the legwork of working with Wade Trim, getting the master plan accomplished, having the spreadsheets, having all the numbers in front of them and saying, hey, if you fund us this, we can start. And, it's just a matter of finding the right contractor to do the work. And, we have money set aside for like landscaping, like Marie had brought up. We kind of have a small pot set aside to, have the finishing touches on Lions Park if we were to get this. So let's just, like Ron said, cross your fingers. So,
yeah.
Our next item is public comment. Anyone in the public like to comment?
I'm not, I'm not out there, but I did have one thing that I wanted to say. And I wanted to thank Ross for this opportunity. He sent an email out, and I don't, if you can talk about the exact title of what this was. I said yes. Actually it was supposed to be an hour, and it was like 32 minutes, but it's great assistance for a small business. It has 4 different categories, but just the email that you sent out to us, I paid attention, but thank you.
Yeah, it was interactive. It's a platform through Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and it's a platform for small businesses starting off. It kind of helps you do business planning. There's a whole bunch of benefits. If anyone out there's interested, I can forward you the information. But I posted on Facebook and sent out an email to all the businesses. So
Basically, 4 essential components, whether you're a startup, or you're looking for money, or you're looking for marketing assistance, or management support. It's a nice overview of, where you can go for help.
Hey, Ross, when you send something like that out, can you put something on it to see if it's read or not? Just to track to see if anybody's looking at it? I mean, we know Marie did. So,
I read it.
oh yeah,
yeah, I mean, just so we'd know if it'll give you an idea if anybody's, that you can have that if they read it or whatever. I know you can do that.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll look into it. Yeah.
And just because we only had 2 responses, I mean, you just keep, trying to make ourselves relevant.
And
to
you're
people
going
on
to
Macomb
start
Street?
small. You're
Yep.
going to start small. And I mean, I was thrilled at how many people showed up for that merchants meeting. I mean, it was nice to see that they outnumbered us.
Any other comments from the board? If not, our next item is to go into closed session, so I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Motion by Jim,
Support.
support by Brett to go into closed session. All those in favor say aye. Oh,
You can't do that. You have to do a roll call on a closed session.
oh, I did not know that.
Yep.
So we have a motion by Jim, supported by Brett to go into closed sessions. We're going to do a roll call vote. Ron votes yes. Jim?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Marie?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
And Jerry?
Yes.
Motion carries.